Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 winter slash holiday slash Christmas eyeshadow palettes. These aren't necessarily like my top 10 like most favorite. I'm not going to be ranking them in any way. Like I'm not going to be ranking them in the sense of they're not going to be like in order of what's my favorite palette. But I did kind of order them from like least wintry holiday-esque to most wintry holiday-esque. And I picked the number 10 because I felt like that was a good number. So I just picked like the most wintry and most holiday-ish palettes in my collection. I hope that makes sense. Some of these are a little bit of a stretch, but I have reasons for them. So we're just going to get into it. Okay, palette number 1 is the BH Cosmetics Wild and Free palette. It looks like this. It is an all shimmer baked palette. And I picked this for the blues and the greens. When I see blue and green, I think winter and Christmas. It's just what I think. So I picked it for that reason, and also because it's, you know, beautiful and shiny. These are more so like kind of satiny colors, not really like shimmery colors, but that's okay. That blue one is not cooperating. But, and now I'm out of fingers, but yeah, they're getting pretty old, so they're not in like the greatest shape anymore, but eyeshadow primer and glitter glue will fix that right up. But that's just an example of the shades. I don't think I'm not going to be swatching everything, but I kind of just wanted to see what kind of shape they were in. When you use these with a glitter glue, the sparkle in them comes out more, and it's less of just a satiny color, because if you look at it closely, there is a little bit of actual sparkle in those. But that's number 1. Number 2 is Kaleidos Club Nebula Angelica, the Angelica palette. And this is probably not like a palette that most people would consider like a winter or holiday palette, but to me it is. I feel like all the cool tones in here really lean themselves to winter, and then you've got that kind of chartreusey lime green, and I'm just getting Grinch vibes from it. And then you have all the sparkle in here, and if it's got heavy sparkle, it's screaming holidays to me. And I feel like the deep shades in here are all so delicious and cool toned that they'd really lend to a nice holiday look. So there's that. The next one is a little controversial in my brain. Not necessarily out in the world, but in my brain. This is the Revolution color book in 05. This is the blue and green one. And controversial in my head because I'm not sure if I actually... What the heck? I'm not sure if I actually like this palette. I've used it once or twice, I think. So the way it's set up is it has blues and greens in the shimmer versions on one side, and then there's a little like dividey thing, and then on the other side it's the same colors in the matte version. And what I mean by saying that this is controversial in my brain is that the color story is very winter and holiday-esque to me, but I'm not sure I'm a fan of the quality. I haven't brought myself to take this out and really test it out some more to see. so I'm just not sure about this. They do sell these at like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and those types of places. I do see these a lot there. So if you're interested in trying it, they're usually there, I think, for like somewhere between $5 and $10. I don't know. Next is the Powerpuff Girls ColourPop palette, and I added this one because this feels like a really like pastel version of what I would consider a holiday color scheme. It's got the blue, it's got the green, there's some pink in there. There's like a orangey corally red, and then you've got all of the sparkles. There's 2 pressed glitters in here. There's a blue one, and then there's this one up here, and then you've got the shimmers to go with it. I just think this is really cute for like a really girly pastel winter look. It works out in my brain. So there's the 4th one. The next one is the Smoke and Mirrors Amethyst palette. And let me see if I can get this to bend. Are you gonna bend for me and not break? I don't know. But this is what it looks like. I think it's really gorgeous. This is probably the most purpley pinky palette that I own. And it has a lot of pressed glitters in it. So if you're not into pressed glitters, or you're not into them in palettes, then like this may not be for you, but this palette is like $5. So if the reasoning behind you not liking pressed glitters in a palette is that you feel like it wastes the space that like a regular shimmer could have been in, and you feel like it's not worth your money because pressed glitters should be cheaper than a shadow, it's a $5 palette, so it's fine. But it does have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it has 8 pressed glitters in here, and this is an 18 pan palette, so a third of this is pressed glitters, which I honestly do not care about because I love pressed glitters. It does have one of their like speckled shades in here, which is this one. I've already like swirled it and swatched it. I will swatch that for you right now because it is actually really beautiful. Their quality, I feel like, is pretty, like, really good for a $5 palette, especially if you find their palettes that have a lot of those speckled shades in them. Those are my favorite formula that they have. I think that they're really, really pretty. They actually remind me a lot of the shades from the next palette that I'm going to show you. But I just feel like this gives me like Sugar Plum Fairy vibes. You know, like the purples and the pinks and all the glitter. Sugar Plum Fairy all the way. And it's definitely wintry and holiday in my mind. The next palette is the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette. I think this is discontinued, but you can probably find it somewhere. But it has 8 really beautiful, interesting shades. And this shade Raw Energy, I don't understand what's happening. It's definitely more of like a toppery color than the one in the Amethyst palette, but they look pretty much the same in the pan, but they're definitely different, as you can see. But I just feel like all of the delicious sparkliness in this palette is perfect for holidays and winter, and I love it so much. There's a nice blue, a green, a purple, 2 greens really. Well, like a brownie reddy green, I don't know. But I think this is great for this upcoming time of year. The next ones are really getting more into Christmas territory. I mean, pretty much they're all Christmas palettes from now on, the next 4. So this one is the Nightmare Before Christmas by ColourPop palette, and that's what it looks like. Honestly, I feel like this is mostly in here for the packaging, because like the packaging is beautiful, but I feel like the color story leans a bit more towards the Halloween aspect of Nightmare Before Christmas and less of the Christmassy aspect. But I think you can still get some pretty nice and like deep and cool toned winter looks out of this. There is like a sparkly black color. It's like a black with a like multi-chrome, or not multi-chrome, but multicolored shimmer in there. It looks like, honestly, kind of reminds me of like Christmas lights at night. I don't know. And then it has a black, it's more like a deep charcoal gray. It's not so much black. But then it's got like a plummy color, a couple pinks in there, a red that really kind of leans more pinky than red. But I think if you want like holiday looks on the deeper end, this is a really good palette for that. Okay, next up, these next 3 are definitely my favorites. These next 3 are like 100% Christmas palettes. But I love them so much. Oh my gosh, no, what's happening to this green? It's cracking. Don't do that. Oh, that makes me so sad. Oh, but this color, it's beautiful. Okay, so this is the Give Me Glow Christmas Morning palette, and what? Okay, this green is getting everywhere. This palette is just so freaking beautiful. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you. This is what it looks like. The shimmers are incredible, like incredible. So this is like a very cool toned brown, and I really like how all the colors pretty much have like all the mattes have a matching shimmer essentially. I feel like it's great. It's great. So you've got the like cool tone green down here, like bluey green. Oh, this shade is so beautiful. Let me show you let's see if I can show you this. Okay, so this is that like typical, I don't want to say typical because this is not like a typical version of this shade, but it's, you know, the very popular, I need another cotton round. The very popular like red, like brownie with the bluish green. You know what I'm talking about? It's like the reddish brown with the greenish flip. I don't know if I'm explaining, like, you guys know this shade, but this is like the best version of this shade you could ever buy. This is mouth-watering. It's incredible. I love that shade so much. It's, you know, it's my favorite shade in the palette, of course. It's great. But the other shimmers are just as shiny. They're so good. They're so good. These shadows are very delicate though. And the mattes are extremely pigmented. So, the shimmers are too, but you have to be pretty careful with this palette. If you have a heavy hand, you're going to want to lighten your hand because, but it's so good. It's so good. This is the only Give Me Glow palette that I own. I actually own one more product from them, but it's a highlight. I need more Give Me Glow eyeshadows because these are probably the best quality eyeshadows that I own. They're incredible. The next 2 palettes are the new Oden's Eye palettes, and I am so happy. I am so happy that I own these palettes. So the first one is the Christmas Eve palette. The packaging is just on another level. It's so beautiful. It makes me so happy. Just the packaging makes me so happy. And then on the inside, like, I want to show you guys this without like blinding you, but there's the mirror on the inside. But just like look at how beautiful they even made that. And then I'm trying to make it so that I can bend this backwards. Okay. Kind of. Here is the color story. It is a cool tone lovers wet dream. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is incredible. These also, can we talk about the shimmer to matte ratio? It's 50-50 and I love it so stinking much. This shade Gorgeous down here, it's incredible. I don't know what that noise is that I made, but it is a beautiful multi-chrome. I don't know, maybe it's a duochrome, but it kind of looks like a multi-chrome to me. Like it shifts from like a lilac to almost like a silvery color, and then to like a bluey green, and then to kind of like a bluish color. I don't even think the camera is going to pick it up, but it is incredible. This shade is freaking incredible. I think both of the, I don't think this one is actually marketed as a multi-chrome. I think it's marketed as a duochrome. But if this is the most multi-chromey duochrome I've ever seen. It's incredible. Like there's no way that's not a multi-chrome. It's like purple, green, and blue, and a little silvery at the same time. And then Snowflake is just like the perfect flaky cool tone silver you've ever seen. It's so shiny. These shadows are just on like a whole other level. They're so good. As good as these are, they're still not as shiny as the Give Me Glow ones, but they're like, Give Me Glow is just like above and beyond, but these have more shine than you know what to do with. So there's that. I don't think I could rave about these enough. I just love them so much. The next one is the Merry Christmas palette by Oden. This is the packaging on this one. It's pretty much the same packaging, just different color. It's so good. It's so good, you guys. Let me try to be able to fold this back. Excuse me. I have already put a dent in Elf Wish, and I've only used it once. So, I mean, that's a little concerning to me, only because I'm like, I don't want that shade to go by too quickly, because I stinking love it. But I think there's a dent in it because it's just a very soft formula. But this is the multi-chrome. You guys ever see something so beautiful that you just kind of want to like throw up? There it is. It is not picking up on camera how stinking beautiful it is. Like the green is not even showing up on my viewfinder. It's like a lime green to like a peachy. Honestly, I think they marketed this one as a multi-chrome, but this one is more duochrome-y to me than the other one, which I think they said was a duochrome. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what they said. But it is a green. It's like a green to like a peachy orange shift. It is something else. It is out of this world. Incredible. Snowman is also beautiful. It's right there on this. Look how shiny Snowman is. I don't have enough words to convey to you how impressive these shadows are. Like, this one has a gold version of the silver in the other palette. It's like almost like a flaky kind of formula, and look how shiny. You guys, there are not enough words in the English vocabulary to in the English language. Wow, my vocabulary is great. There are not enough words in the English language to express to you how in love I am with these palettes. I don't think I've ever purchased a more perfect palette in my entire life. I love them so freaking much, and I could not be happier with these. I'm really sad though, because they were very limited edition. From what I understand, you cannot get them anymore, and they're not like I think they did like a final pre-order or something, and that sold out, and they're not planning on ever bringing it back, which makes me really sad because this was not available for very long. It was available for like a few weeks, I think. And that makes me really sad because why? These are the best palettes in my entire collection. Both color story and like formula wise. I love them. I don't know if they beat the formula for Give Me Glow, in my opinion. I'm speechless. I probably sound really annoying right now, just going on and on about these palettes, but you guys, I can't stop. I can't stop myself. But those are the top 10 wintry, Christmassy, holiday-esque palettes in my collection. Half this video is probably me ranting about the last two palettes, but you know, whatever. They're great. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite winter or holiday palettes are, because I would love to know. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.